The St. Thomas Aquinas Weekly Update, where we connect you to the parish community as you experience the presence of Christ.
What is up, and welcome to the St. Thomas Aquinas Weekly Update, week of August the 4th. I'm Brandon Barker, and I'm joined with Leilani Freitas, Evan Swindle, and Isabel Keith, coming at you on this edition of the St. Thomas Aquinas Weekly Update. What's up, guys?
Hello, hello.
Hey, good week.
Good to see you, Brandon.
Yeah.
It's good to see you as well, Isabel. You all, too.
Thank you.
We're alive.
Man, totally. Well, today, as we jump into this month of August, we are celebrating the feast of pastors, St. John Vianney, the patron saint of pastors,
Wow.
the cure of ours. So if you don't know much about him, you should look him up and ask him to pray for you. So that's how we're kicking off the week. But we normally start with a fun fact. So that was a fun fact. But fun fact number 2, we're going to talk about the church and the architecture, because at St. Thomas Aquinas, we are blessed to have a beautiful church building, and just how it's structured and the theology of the church building. We have a rich tradition, in the church. And so there's lots of different layers and things that are a part of the church. I mean, from the number of columns that are there and just the stained glass, but there's so much to it just from the shape of it, right? If you were to fly up above in an airplane and look down, do you know what shape the church is built in?
It's a cross. Yeah.
It's a cross,
Yeah.
right? It's cruciform, and so it's built in the shape of a cross. So there's so much intentionality behind it. But as far as the 3 main spaces within the church, we start, when you walk in the front doors. So it's like we're walking in from the secular into the sacred. And so there's this movement, and it's all rooted in theology, starting with the Garden of Eden, right? And with Adam and Eve, and then ultimately the tabernacle, right? With Moses and them as they were traveling, and then ultimately the temple, right? And the different spaces and the outer areas and the outer layers. And there was just this symbology that you're moving closer and closer to, right, the sacred, right? And so it's this movement from the secular into the sacred. And so that's how the church we have. So we have the first section, which when you walk in from the doors, it's, you know what that's called?
I don't.
Oh, that
actually.
part of the church.
Yeah, the first part when you walk in from the out.
It's called the front door.
Right.
Okay.
So from the front doors, that first space in the back of the church, you know what that's called?
It's not the Narthex.
Yeah, that's right. It is the
Oh, it
Narthex.
is.
Yeah,
It
it's
is.
actually
Okay.
the Narthex.
Yeah, Isabel.
Go.
Way to go. So, and what it is it's a space of transition, right? So it's a transition space from, again, moving from the secular in this movement into the sacred. And so then the next part, once we go and we move from the Narthex into the main space, it's called...
The sanctuary.
No, it's actually called the nave.
Oh.
So the nave.
okay.
So I mean, in other faith traditions, they would call the whole thing's a sanctuary, but it's actually the nave, right, which I believe it's German, and it means boat.
Okay,
Right?
I was thinking
And so
of boat,
if
yeah.
you look at the church, if upside down, it's like the ark, and what happened in the ark? Well, the people, God, moved.
That's pretty cool.
The people, yeah. So that's what, and so that's where we're at, right? It represents the earth, right? And us as lay people, and we're there, and so that's the part of the church that represents, the earth. And then the next part that at Thomas Aquinas is separated by the rail, and there's got to be separation between the nave and the next part, which I already said, which is the
sanctuary.
yeah, the
Sanctuary,
sanctuary,
okay.
right, which is representative of heaven, right, in the heavenly liturgy, the wedding supper of the Lamb. And so, but we have the rail, and so whether it's a rail or whether it's a rising of steps, or there's the separation between that heaven and earth, but ultimately, right, whether it's the rail at Thomas Aquinas or it's steps. I mean, there's a separation, but at the same point in time, Jesus has bridged, right, heaven and earth. And so that's what's happening. So that's why, the gates are open, and because heaven and earth are connecting. And so it's this movement, when we're going from outside and just this moving from this, again, the secular into the sacred. And that's the reason why, we dip our fingers in the holy water, and it's this baptism that brings us into the people of God and the family of God. And so we're in the boat, we're moving from here to there. And so anyway, there's just all this stuff that's in there. So the Narthex, the nave, and the sanctuary.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
So
Everything's very
Thanks for doing that.
intentional.
Yep.
it is super intentional.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So that's the fun facts of August the 4th. What's going on at Thomas Aquinas this week, you all?
Yeah, so we're going to switch it up and kind of play a different role. So daily mass this week will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tuesday 6:15, Wednesday at noon, and then Friday at 8 a.m. And then Sunday Mass are no more scheduled for Sunday Mass. So Saturday at 4, 7:30, 9, 11, 1, 5, and 7:30 p.m.
on Sunday.
Pick your favorite.
Yeah, all the entire Sunday you can come and celebrate the Mass with us. So on Friday of this week, it's the first Friday. So after the 8 a.m. Mass, we will have Adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, and that goes until 11 a.m. And then confessions will be on Tuesdays 9 to 10, Thursday 5 to 6, and Saturday 2:30 to 3:30. So those are the 3 days of the week you can receive the sacrament of confession. And this week we have some feast days. We have St. Lawrence. That's August 10th.
Oh.
I don't know too much about him, but
St. Lawrence, I mean, he's the patron saint of barbecue
cooks. Yeah,
barbecue
yeah.
cooks, which is kind of jacked up if you think about it, because he died by being
Roasted.
barbecued.
Yeah.
And but I mean, he asked the people that were doing that to him, he said he was done on this side, could they flip him over
Yeah.
on the other side? So just he obviously realized that there was more to life than just the earth, and he had a sense of humor, obviously, which I think is important.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what I would do in that situation if I'd be cracking jokes. But I mean, the grace of God can make us do amazing and crazy things. And so anyway, way to go, St. Lawrence.
Yeah. And then we also have the Transfiguration of Jesus. That's earlier in the week. So that's August 6th is the Transfiguration. So we'll celebrate that. We hope you come to Mass and celebrate that with us. But we have an event this week that Isabel's going to share about.
So Thursday, we have a young adult ministry night. It's going to be our game night, and we're super, super excited about that. It's going to start at 7 and end at 8:30 p.m. And if you're interested in the details, check out our Instagram post to see where we'll be. And then I wanted to tell y'all about the ministry highlight for this week. So it's the Legion of Marys. The Legion strives to increase the faith and holiness of its members through prayer and through various apostolic works, which I think is really awesome. So if you're interested in joining the ministry, please join them every Tuesday at 6:30 in the St. Jude Library, and they would love to have you.
Yeah, I mean, is it something where they can just show up? Do they need to go on the website and, reach out to someone? Because, I mean, I think you can do both. Sometimes people feel more comfortable reaching out and saying, hey, by the way, I'd like to come join you. And then other times people just freestyle it and show up. And so I think you can give them the heads up. Or if you just want to show up, St. Jude Library on Tuesdays.
They would love to have you.
Yep.
They're really sweet ladies, so I don't think they would mind you popping in. But you can also check out our website, and underneath the ministries and organization page, you can find their contact info and everything like that. So you could do either or.
That's our week.
That's the week.
Wrapping it up.
It is like during the summer, it's just such a different pace.
It slows down.
It's kind of chill. I mean, there's lots of stuff that's going on behind the scenes. I mean, just I mean, there's a lot of moving and shaking that's going on. I mean, we have a new pastor.
Yeah.
Father Arthur is in the building.
Yeah.
And
In the house.
he is. And so, man, we're just super grateful for him and the opportunity that God has in store for just this parish. And so what we would ask is just in the transition, the stuff that's going on, to just continue to pray for him and for all the leadership and all the parish and just what God's got in store for us in this new season. So, it's summertime. It's transition time.
Mm-hmm.
It's hot in Texas time,
Very hot.
There's a lot to.
That's why it's the
lot to be
feast
grateful
of
for.
St. Lawrence, right?
Oh.
I still think
Bring
it's too
it back
soon.
to that.
Oh, man.
St. Lawrence. Well, is there any questions, comments, anything that you guys and gals have
No, I
before we
think
jump
that's
on?
it.
Is this going to be like a short
Yeah.
weekly update?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an update.
Well,
Right on.
You got everything you need to know.
every once in a while we'll sneak in a 12, 14 minute, but I think this week, where are we at right now?
12.
Oh, we're already at 12. Well, in that case, St. Thomas Aquinas family, remember that we are walking with every person that we encounter to experience the presence of Christ. That God's going to make saints out of us one day, one step at a time, if we'll just respond to the grace that he gives us each and every day. So know that we are praying for you all. We ask for your prayers. And yeah, until next week, St. Thomas Aquinas Weekly Update. I'm Brandon Barker, Leilani Freitas, Evan Swindle, and Isabel Keith. Until next week, Godspeed.
You've been listening to the St. Thomas Aquinas Weekly Update. We hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, reach out to us on Facebook and Instagram at STA Dallas and visit the website at www.stadallas.org.